I think my story will be really familiar to so many of you, my lovely followers and connections. So let me share it with you in a little bit more detail. So I'm Jo. I am the founder of Pivotal Moments, an executive coach. I'm also social butterfly, avid fan of the Cote Provence Rosé and of Sunshine Holidays. But a couple of years ago, I had a really important pivotal moment in my life where I realised that I was really chasing a dream that, not even a dream, a life that I thought I wanted. Maybe a life that on paper had all the sort of tick boxes of success. So I had the home, I had the house, the car, the career, I had the marriage, not anymore. I had the friends, the social life, I had, all these things, all the sort of classical trappings, tick boxes, whatever you want to call them, of success, perceived success on kind of societal terms, I suppose. From the outside looking in, you would think that I had everything I could have possibly ever wanted or dreamed of, and therefore I must have been happy. But I really wasn't. I really wasn't happy. I felt very lost. I felt very stuck. I felt very anxious, constantly tearful. I lost a sense of self. I didn't really know who I was anymore. So, I did a good job. I got to a really high level in some amazing organisations. I worked with some wonderful people. But I just felt like I'd lost my passion, like I'd lost my mojo, like I just wasn't being true to myself anymore. And to be honest, I really feel as though I probably went pop at one point. I think I had some massive life changes from a personal point of view, and then some real knocks in terms of my confidence from a work point of view as well. And a lot of that was all like intrinsically linked together. Yes, there was a restructure. Yes, there were some changes. But actually, I didn't know who I was, never mind being able to then sort of ride the wave of all the external factors. And I completely lost myself in the process, being totally transparent about it. I didn't giggle anymore. I felt constantly under pressure. I was sleeping badly. I was eating badly. I wasn't spending time in my life doing the things that give me any joy. I really wasn't doing anything properly or doing anything in a way that was fulfilling or empowering or inspiring for me. So it was early 2020, just before the pandemic, and I was lying on a sunshine beach, me with my mum. We often go away once a year. And, I just was having these kind of, oh my God moments, I was like, what is this all about? I'm 35 years old, and I just feel so lost. I feel so unsure of myself. I don't trust my opinions. I don't trust my decisions. I don't believe that I can do it, even though on paper I've shown that I can. And I just had such a huge crisis of confidence. And so at that point in time, I decided to work with a coach. I felt as though I couldn't get the headspace on my own to actually detach myself from my reality. And so I needed someone to help me, to give me that perspective, to give me the opportunity to take stock, to take a step back from being up against the wall and actually think about my life, think about my choices, think about me. Who am I? What do I stand for? What's important to me? What beliefs am I holding that are limiting me? Or what are the things that I want to happen or to have in my life that actually at the moment I don't have? And it was a real personal journey of huge self-discovery, loads and loads of tears, lots of personal reflection. I did a lot of walking during that time, really trying to get my head straight in terms of what it was that was important to me. And I realised that actually, life isn't about the tick boxes. It's not about living life on somebody else's terms. It's not about living life in a way that is the right way or the way you should do it. It's not about doing things to keep up appearances or because that's what everyone else does. And it was at that point in time that was really truly my pivotal moment. My personal life had completely upended. My professional life, I was like, this is something that I'm really passionate about, is my professional life. And so I was like, right, this is it. I need to do something different. I need to reconnect with me again. I need to understand myself, but I also need to really tune into my passions. And my passions are all about people. I absolutely love people. I find them fascinating, but I want to have an impact. I want to help people. One of my big values is around community. And community for me means surrounding myself with amazing people, but also having a really positive impact on those around me. And so that's why I chose, with a lot of help from my coach, I chose the opportunity to retrain and actually consider what could my future career path look like. And for a long while, I thought I'd stay in the corporate world and I'd find some level of people leadership type roles within the amazing businesses that I was already working within. But then I also realised one of my other values, one of the other critical things that I really want in my life is a sense of freedom. Freedom to be me, freedom to be authentic, freedom to operate my life on my terms, freedom to work when I want to. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot, but I love it, so that's all good. Freedom to choose how I want to do things, freedom to make those decisions that feel right for me. And so it was the middle of last year, 2021, that I chose to follow this dream and become the executive coach that I am today. I'd already got my qualification, and then over the next following 6 months, I got my accreditation too. And here I am, like 2 years after my personal pivotal moment, retrained,